Everyone has a game that takes its toll. Anger. Rage.
Well, it's 5 hours away. Okay.
Salt. Pain.
I feel within me a peace above all earthly.
Keyboards and controllers crumbling into plastic pieces. A game with a ridiculous task just for the sake of completion, looking for tactics, guides, and advice. The one game I'll be discussing is Cuphead, a 2D run-and-gun platformer with a series of bosses to overcome, showing unique abilities and beautiful animation, becoming a challenging game while being compared to Dark Souls. Not how I would phrase it, but I guess you could say it's a sign of praise for its difficulty. Except, how did it turn out this way? Why does this game cause frustration to complete? And what makes it the most formidable challenge to get upset over? Let's take a step back and break down what we know. Chad and Jared Moldenhauer are the ones to thank the most for the creation of Cuphead, two brothers from Canada that were passionate about creating their own video game. When they were just kids, they spent their childhood watching classic 1930 cartoons and playing video games like Mega Man. As they got older, they eventually began to develop their first game in 2013. They based their game around classic run-and-gun genres like Contra and Gunstar Heroes, making prototypes of Cuphead and using the traditional style of animating the characters. Chad adopted the 1930s style of animation while Jared helped bring Chad's work and programming it with the Unity engine. The development of Cuphead was a long process, yet they put in so much time and effort to make it look right. The animation was all hand-drawn, and 3D backgrounds were built by hand. They used almost every crucial detail and idea that they had, using Photoshop to digitally make the colors. Microsoft saw the game and loved its impression. With that, their team grew, helping with animating, artwork, programming, management, and the soundtrack. The brothers even got the opportunity to be at Microsoft's E3 2014 conference. As the release grew closer, people would argue that their game may be too difficult for people to play. However, the brothers just brushed it off, showing confidence in their vision of the game. On September 29, 2017, Cuphead was released on Steam and Xbox consoles. The reception for Cuphead was highly praised, selling 1 million copies in just 2 weeks. Later, the game was brought to more consoles and sold 6 million more by 2020. The game's success even got a DLC, Netflix show, and comic book series to the scene. This was done by a team with no experience with game development, except with a massive passion for video games. One of the many points that I want to address is what makes the game incredibly difficult. The first would be the number of enemies on screen. In the first level, you start with a run and gun segment. Right off the bat, you encounter your first set of enemies. The way they're designed is to always step in your way. Enemies will shoot, run into you, and bite you. They even appear in boss stages as lackeys to create more chaos and urgency. So usually you have to consider that in almost every direction, something will hit you. Enemies in every run and gun level will have different methods of hurting you or getting in your way. Casual players will find this annoying since they aren't sure what to expect. The first impression would be to admire the game's aesthetics, but they won't have time to process the attack. Experienced players have quick reflexes and awareness of the game. It becomes typically frustrating since they can still make mistakes, even when it comes to perfect scores, which divides casual players from highly skilled players who can understand Cuphead and its mechanics more. Cuphead serves more as a boss rush game, so as expected, each boss will need to be defeated. They are also a massive highlight of the game. Bosses will also have 2 or more phases, since each one you encounter will be unique and different. You'll have to adapt and change your strategies and weapons each round you face them. If you're new to the game, you'll have difficulty keeping up the pace once you begin. It requires a lot of precision movement and speed to get through each phase. Their attacks are also random, making the battle more intense, coining the term RNG. Bosses even have dogfights, so even being in the air creates another challenge of random attacks happening on screen. There's always a pattern with each one, and it causes a lot of stress to keep moving and dealing more damage simultaneously. Then there's the expert mode. You replay every boss battle with a higher difficulty tweak. This will bring pain to players that accept this challenge. Multitasking is the key here. We can all agree that what makes this experience suck is how you need to get good. Once you've completed a boss battle, you're scored on your performance. For casual players, it's basically a one and done. As for completionists, seeing your progress decline is always painful to watch. Putting so many hours into grinding the game to get perfect scores was enough work already. Once you finish the game, you can interact with NPCs that give you secrets or Easter eggs. But the one to take the cake is the pacifist run. For each run and gun level you did before, do it again by not killing a single enemy. Even attempting this is a challenge since you must avoid them without a single attack. Sometimes a game has boss battles with health bars to indicate the amount of progress and damage you inflicted. As for most games like Cuphead, there isn't one. The closest thing you'll get is a progress bar after you've been killed. What's even worse is the bosses of the game will even taunt you for failing. Every player is different when it comes to the type of game and skill level they have. When it comes to failure in Cuphead, it's something that people hate. They loathe it, and their blood boils just seeing themselves lose after being so close to beating the boss. Seeing how much progress you made only to restart the entire battle is humiliating. Your ego and pride get attacked, so you feel obligated to throw your controller or snap your keyboard in half. Some are motivated by the sense of failure because that progress encourages them to keep trying. Seeing how close the players are proves to them that they made a breakthrough. Understanding the game is key to making better progress. Hitboxes are a set of 2D or 3D invisible shapes that a game uses to register real-time collisions. Then there are hurtboxes. A hurtbox is usually associated with a character or any other hittable object in your game. Whenever an attack lands, it will cause an effect applied by the input. Cuphead's hitboxes can have weird effects. You could miraculously dodge an attack by a hair, or stand close to the enemy without receiving damage. So you can imagine the number of times you were hit without even knowing what happened. Now, it's not to say that you're invincible. You can still get hurt by the enemy up close at different timing of an attack or phase. Experienced players and speedrunners understand hitboxes and how they work. It's how they break the game in half. But when you get hit or fall, you have invincibility frames that give you time to move out of the way before getting hit again. Keep that in mind as you play again. It could potentially help you, but be careful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this.